Dit verhaal is waar gebeurd en gebaseerd op geheime FBI-dossiers. De scènes zijn door acteurs nagespeeld.
On the night of November 7, 1979, 15 inmates overpowered guards and escaped from the state penitentiary at Moundsville, West Virginia. The man who masterminded the mass break was Ronald Turney Williams, a convicted cop killer with a near-genius IQ.
Ronnie, we lost the others. The hell with them. They'll keep the cops busy. We just got lucky, boys. Back there.
Philip Kessner was an off-duty West Virginia state trooper. He and his wife, Connie, were driving past the prison unaware of the escape earlier.
According to a printed statement, the mass breakout began at about 8:10 p.m. when two inmates pulled a gun and a knife on the visitors' ruined command post, secured the keys, and forced the guard sergeant to accompany them out the front door. Confiscating a passing car, they shot and killed the driver, 23-year-old Philip Kessner, an off-duty state trooper, forcing Kessner's wife from the auto. She was unhurt. 15 inmates in all escaped, 5 in the car, 10 more believed on foot. Some carrying automatic weapons, and all considered dangerous.
The next day, the prisoner shot by State Trooper Kessner was found dead. Within weeks, all the other prisoners except Williams had been captured. The FBI wasn't surprised. The Bureau knew that Williams had merely used the others as a diversion. He was that cunning. In the end, only his weakness for women would lead to his capture. I'm Pernell Roberts. Join me tonight for FBI: The Untold Stories. The special agent in charge of coordinating the nationwide hunt for Williams was Dick Jones. He'd been unsuccessful tracking the murderer for almost 4 months. He thought he was about to get him.
Dick, from L.A. Bad news.
Stanley, I have to get back to you a little later.
His ex-wife said we missed him by 2 days.
Damn it. Any leads at all?
No. It's uncanny. I mean, how he's able to stay one jump ahead of us. It's like he can smell us coming.
It's more than that, Larry. You play chess?
Not since college.
Williams does. They say he's a master. He's playing this like a chess match. He's outthinking us. The warden at Monsville prison got this postcard from Williams yesterday.
Wish you were here.
He's really enjoying this.
Several months had passed, and once again, Williams had vanished into thin air. Actually, he had moved to Richmond, Virginia, where he was living the good life, using the alias James Lee Bird. He also began dating a 19-year-old girl from a good Richmond family. He lavished her with attention, and she fell in love with him.
You're having a good run.
You should have come with me. You'll never be ready for that marathon on Sunday.
I could never run 26 miles.
How do you know if you don't try? Susan, you gotta learn to take some chances in this life. You want to get somewhere?
I'm about to do just that. Here. I want you to have this.
It's your class ring?
I want you to have it because you mean a lot to me. Please, James.
You sure?
The young girl's mother and father were impressed with Williams the first time their daughter brought him home. In the months that followed, he'd become like one of the family.
Are you still going hunting tomorrow, James?
Mm-hmm. Pick you up at daybreak. Oh, and leave your shotgun at home. Bought you a little present. That 20 gauge you were admiring last month.
James, that's very nice of you.
That's my pleasure.
Dad, we want to get married.
Susan?
We do, don't we?
Sir, I was meaning to discuss this with you after church on Sunday.
You see, Father, I was right. Susan would never give her class ring to someone she wasn't in love with.
Well, James, we couldn't be more pleased.
I would like you to discuss this with Pastor Clay.
We already had, Mrs. Langley.
Oh, I see. Well, marriage is a big step, James. Are you sure you can afford the responsibility of a family?
When I sold my construction business, I managed to put quite a bit of money away.
A young man should be productive, James.
I know. That's why lately I've been thinking of going back into business.
Williams was serious. While Susan's parents were making plans for a big wedding, their future son-in-law was in Fairfax County, Virginia, financing his and Susan's future. Despite his high IQ, the burglary wasn't one of Williams' smartest moves. The woman got the license number of the getaway car. The car belonged to Susan's parents.
Your move. I'm never gonna learn how to play this. I've got to concentrate. Wait till the game is over.
It's over. Checkmate.
Clear.
I'm gonna get you something to drink. Something to cool you off.
I really don't understand any of this. This can't be.
Oh, excuse me, Mother. I didn't mean to disturb you.
Susan, this is Detective Lipton. He's with the police.
Police.
There was a burglary in Glenwood. Whoever did it used your car.
Ours? That's crazy.
Well, that's what I said. Unless your father's moonlighting and hasn't told me. Isn't it possible that the woman who took down the license plate number made a mistake?
It's possible, but she said she was sure. Did you or any family member loan the car to anyone this afternoon?
Of course not.
The burglar was described as being athletic, medium height, brown hair, early 30s. Does anyone who fits that description use your car?
No. The only people who use the car are my husband and Susan. And I have my own car.
Mrs. Langley had lied because she couldn't believe that the young man her daughter was about to marry could be a criminal. That night, Williams managed to convince the family that the witness was mistaken and had gotten the wrong license number. Later, Detective Lipton learned from neighbors that a man fitting the burglar's description was dating the young woman he just interviewed. They located his apartment. By the time they arrived, the the man had fled, but he left fingerprints identifying him as Ronald Williams. Now the case was in the hands of FBI agent Jeff Doyle.
I don't believe it. Jimmy Lee couldn't do the things you said he did.
Isn't this the man you know as James Lee Burke?
No, it's not. It's somebody who looks like James.
Susan, you know that's not true. I know you've had contact with him.
Since he left. It's almost 2 weeks ago.
And he didn't tell you where he was going?
No. I'm telling you the truth.
I know this is hard for you. You're a nice girl, and you have a fine family. Williams is a master manipulator, so I can understand how you could fall in love with him. But you have to believe me. He is a stone-cold killer.
It's not the man I know.
I'm afraid it is. Sooner or later, I believe he's going to contact you. And when he does, we want to be there. We need your help.
You can't. He's not this man. He's not.
Susan was torn between trying to do what she knew was right and her emotional attachment to Ronald Turney Williams. She wanted to believe deep down inside that he was not this top 10 murderer. She wanted to believe that he was who he said he was, who he represented to her, yet she knew in her mind, she knew clearly that he was what I portrayed him to be.
Less than 6 weeks later, Williams arrived in Norfolk, Virginia. He called the young woman at home and convinced her to meet him. He followed her to make sure she wasn't under FBI surveillance. When they got to his hotel, he tried to persuade her that he wasn't guilty of the murder he went to prison for, and that he had never killed anyone.
Miss Langley.
I saw James yesterday. You were right about him. He's a liar. I'll help you. But you've got to do something for me.
If I can.
I know my parents told you that I gave him my class ring. It means a lot to me. I want you to get it back.
FBI, The Untold Stories, will continue in a moment.
Hé, Freek, Willem is de naam. Kan ik nou eindelijk je nieuwe douchecelletje even bewonderen?
Nou, compleet met legbad. Doe maar.
Ja, Jacques. Helene en ik we hebben ons dus heel erg laten inspireren door de koele klaarheid.
Mooie doos. Van de gamma?
We zijn uitgegaan van de helderheid van een zomerochtend in de Griekse archipel.
Komt allemaal nog wel een beetje bij de gamma vandaan.
Nou, je gaat op jacht, hè. Dan kun je altijd wel weer iets van je gading. Hier, dit zeepbakje bijvoorbeeld, dat komt van een antiekmarkt in Brussel. Dat is Art Deco.
Art Deco, het is kapot.
Ja, dat is antiek, hè?
Zeg, de rest van je badhandel is niet antiek, hè?
Nee.
Dat is modern.
Ja.
Zonder gamma.
Ja.
Ja, de echte doet het zelf. Het kent niet zonder de gamma.
Kan niet zonder gamma.
Dat zeg ik. Gamma.
Straks in het late nieuws. De grote uittocht in Europa is begonnen. Nederland nog steeds populair als vakantiebestemming. Patrick Kluivert niet vervolgd voor verkrachting. Vandaag maakte hij een nieuwe start bij AC Milan.
Barstende koppijn van de hedendaagse dansmuziek? Geen probleem, gebruik nu Kink FM's Kinky Beats. De cd met 15 heilzame tracks uit de underground scene zonder schadelijke bijwerkingen.
I need a woman that wrote. Pressure pain.
De Kinky Beats cd. Chemical Sounds for Fast Relief. Out now.
Tot en met 19 juli alle kranen met 10% korting bij Gamma.
Dat zeg ik. Gamma.
Foto aan de wand. Wie steekt Australië in brand?
Platoon. This girl's brother is the suspected pyromaniac. Now, do you want her in this platoon?
You protect what you love, to the exclusion of everything else.
De verdachtmakerij gaat onverminderd verder.
A fireman burning down his own apartment.
En ondertussen gaat de dader maar door en door en door en door.
Page? Page.
RTL 4's heetste serie is Fire. Morgenavond om 9:30.
Om voordelig mobiel te bellen, hoeft u als particulier niet meer te wachten tot 8 uur 's avonds. Want het meest innovatieve gsm-netwerk zet de klok een uurtje terug. En laat de daluren al om 7 uur beginnen. Zo belt u 's avonds en in het weekend al voor 35 cent per minuut. Dat klinkt aantrekkelijk en dat is ook aantrekkelijk. Bij Liberto.
Once the young woman realized that Williams was only manipulating her, she agreed to let the FBI tap her phone. While agents waited for the call, Williams burglarized a home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and brutally murdered 74-year-old John Bunching. From the records of Williams' calls made from his apartment while he was living in Richmond, the Bureau learned that he was also calling known prostitutes in New York. 3 weeks later, the FBI was monitoring the young woman's phone when Williams called. The call was from New York. Now they knew where to search for him. FBI agents Dan McLaughlin and Ed Peterson were now assigned to the case. They figured now that Williams was alone, he would return to his first love, prostitutes. They spent long hours interviewing.
It'll cost you $75. But if you're looking for the bargain basement, you can have Rhonda here for $10. She's a big kidder. Slut.
You excuse us?
Oh, great. FBI, what took you so long? Hey, word gets around. We heard you were looking for Ronnie.
Really? So when was the last time you saw him?
Hey, I won't bleach this beautiful hair for any John, no matter how much dough he's got.
Hair?
Ever since Ronnie got back into town, he's had a thing for ladies with long blonde hair.
So, who's Ronnie's favorite blonde these days?
Rhonda, remember your little problem with the cops?
You got any friends at the 92nd Precinct?
Yeah. Look, I'm busy right now. That's what I'm calling about. Your friend Ronnie? The FBI was just here asking for him. Thought you might want to let him know. Yeah, I see.
Get off the phone. I gotta call my hotel.
Thanks, Rhonda. I'll see you later.
Haywood Hotel.
Yeah, this is Mr. Price. Do I have any mail?
I'll check, Mr. Price. I'm sorry, sir. Nothing for you.
Thanks. Hey.
You can wait forever. Your girlfriend's not going to write you.
She doesn't even know where I am. I don't care anyway.
Why are you still wearing her ring?
That's none of your damn business.
Well, if that's true, then I guess I won't tell you that the FBI knows you're in New York. I just talked to my friend Rhonda. The FBI knows you're in New York. Your girlfriend, what's her name? Susan. She must have snitched you up.
What did Rhonda tell me?
She shined him on. Aren't you upset?
No, I'm impressed. Susan's a lot smarter than I thought.
Typically, Williams felt he was smarter than the FBI. However, McLaughlin and Peterson had contacts in the New York Vice Squad. It didn't take them long to locate Dawn's hotel.
FBI, turn around. Slowly.
Once Dawn got over the shock, she gave McLaughlin and Peterson the name of the hotel where Williams had been staying. He had checked out. Once again, Williams was one step ahead of them. McLaughlin and Peterson then checked dozens of hotels in Manhattan without success. Several days had passed and there was still no sign of Williams.
Hey, Butkiewicz, what are you doing here?
Looking for you and your partner. Where is he?
On vacation, and he left me holding the bag.
I mean, Williams.
Yeah.
Well, this should ruin your day. He just shot a young man during a burglary.
What? In New York?
No, Potomac, Maryland. Announced himself, kicked in the door, and shot the kid as he was calling the police.
You know, this is starting to make sense.
What's that?
His M.O. I think he's been pulling jobs in surrounding states and using Manhattan as a kind of safe house.
Now he knows you're on to him, he won't come back here.
No, that's exactly what he'll do. Because he thinks he's a lot smarter than we are.
McLaughlin knew that when Williams was with Dawn, he was constantly checking his hotel for mail. McLaughlin knew if he was right and Williams did return to New York, he'd probably do it again. The FBI got ready. McLaughlin placed Agent Dave Martinez with the desk clerk and several others in strategic locations around the lobby. He brought Agent Butkiewicz along in place of his partner.
Charlie, get around there.
I was wandering around the hotel lobby, checking everybody's positions to make sure everything was set. Everybody's adrenaline was pumping, mine was pumping at its maximum. There's a lot of nervous energy, there's a lot of anticipation. These are the feelings that was going through my mind. When is he coming? Is he gonna show up?
Heads up, you guys. I think we've got a possum.
Hello, Mr. Price.
Did any mail come for me?
Let me see.
FBI! Drop the gun!
No. Drop yours.
Easy, man. Just take it easy.
Stay where you are, or you're dead.
Just put it down.
There's no doubt in my mind that had not Agent Butkiewicz shot him, that Williams would have shot me. So it's a great sense of gratitude that I have towards Agent Butkiewicz for acting as well as he did in that very tense situation.
Wait a second. What the hell are you doing? Susan wants her ring back.
A few days later, the class ring was returned to the young woman who had fallen in love with Williams.
The moment that I returned the ring to Susan, I felt an extreme sense of relief. A relief that meant the end to the conflict that I had in my day-to-day dealings with Susan, in having to drag her through her own conflict, and that conflict being cooperating with the FBI in trying to catch the man that she had planned to marry, the man that she had committed her life to.
After Williams recovered from his wounds, he was returned to the state penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia, to serve out his original sentence. He was eventually convicted of the shooting death of Trooper Kessner and received an additional life sentence. On April 23, 1984, he was convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of the man in Arizona, John Bunchick. Join me next time for FBI, The Untold Stories. I'm Pernell Roberts.